You know, people always ask me when it started. You know, what did my parents do? We always go back into my upbringing. And for me, I just remember the fact that I was different than everyone else and I was defiant. And if people made me angry, you know, I had to flip out. It started with Catholic school. No, my parents put me in Catholic school because they figured the nuns would straighten me out. So I'll never forget the day I was sitting at my desk and Sister Pat confronted me. She told me to wipe the smile off my face. And I just tend to be one of those people that smile a lot. And I was sitting in the back of the class. I'm one of those people that's always in the back of the room smiling, you know, the troublemakers. But I wasn't doing anything, I swear I wasn't. So, the one time I wasn't, right? so I was smiling. I'm in 4th grade now, and Sister Pat told me to wipe the smirk off my face. And I said, no. I mean, you know how that works in class. Everyone's like, ooh. And then we started getting into it back and forth. And then she grabbed my arm and said, I'm taking you out to the office. And I punched her. I said, don't touch me. And everyone said, and she threw holy water on me. She called me the devil. So I took some of that holy water and threw it back at her. I said, put this on your wrinkles. I was shortly expelled from school thereafter. And my parents, they had to talk with me. They had to talk. They said, Mike, we got to talk about how you talk to adults. And, you know, you're not supposed to do that. And I said, Mommy, Daddy, nobody has a right to talk down to me. And I will stand up for myself. They said, okay. And even now, I'm 35 years old. No one has a right to talk down to me. And I found that it became a strength for fundraising because I have no problem approaching anyone because we're all equals. So shortly after that, my parents had another idea. Again, my good parents trying to help me out here, figure out what's going on with this kid. They put me in public school with my uncle, who was the principal. He was trying to grow his career, educational administration, and within a few weeks, I was kicked out of that school. I had thrown a desk at a teacher this time. I was angry. And I didn't know what was wrong. I just knew that I just exploded sometimes. Things made me mad. And after that summer, the movie Batman came out with Michael Keaton, for those of you that remember. This is before Christian Bale. Jack Nicholson was the Joker. And I saw the movie with my family. We had fun. But I came home, and for the first time, I exploded like a volcano. I destroyed my parents' home. I was angry. I didn't know why. No one knew why. Just throwing stuff everywhere. The police were outside, and I was hospitalized for the first time. So here I am, a 4th grader, in this thing called a psychiatric ward. That's supposed to help me get better. Green walls everywhere. You know, I can't tell my friends. You know, my parents couldn't tell anyone. But, you know, all the other kids knew. They knew something was up with me. I was that kid that no parent wanted their kids hanging out with. And so, it wasn't easy for me. And I was discharged after a few weeks. Then they put me in 5th grade in special education. I said, Mike, maybe you need attention. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I do. In fact, I got this pink sparkle phone. I need attention, I'm not gonna lie. This thing is great, right? And I discovered something in special education. I discovered that I like tapping my pencil on my desk. It made me feel good. And I would always ask to play drums, and the teacher said, well, we'll see. You need to behave, get X amount of stars, right? Got one of those systems. And so I started playing drums in the 5th grade. It was very fun for me. Every time I went to go play the drums, I felt good. I felt happy. Away from the drums, I was a tornado. And I started to actually mature faster than the girls. So now I'm 10 years old, and usually around that age, the girls are maturing first and the guys are going after that. But I was like that tall kid in class. It's going past everyone. And so my emotions were just going like a lazy river inside of me. And I started to get really depressed, and I became suicidal in 5th grade. And I tried to take my own life. And if it wasn't for my mom rushing me to the hospital to get my stomach pumped, I wouldn't be alive today. I noticed at that point that I had a gift for speaking, because somehow at 10 years old, I talked my way out of being put back in the psychiatric ward. Don't know how I did it. Fast forward to 7th grade. They put me in a private school. Things were going a little better for me. I was growing more, but it started to get explosive. Now I'm bigger. So my parents really couldn't handle me flipping out, throwing things, trying to fight them, threatening to kill them, cutting myself. So I was hospitalized for about 4 or 5 months in 7th grade. And it's hard when you're hospitalized for mental health reasons because you cannot tell people. You know, if I had broken my leg, if I had a major surgery, I would have gotten a card from everyone at school that says, feel better, right? I never got that. You know, friends just thought I was away with family or doing something. My parents couldn't talk about it. They didn't feel comfortable talking about it. And what do you say? And for a parent, it's hard because parents judge other parents and feel judged, so they're thinking they're bad parents. So, 10th grade comes around. I'm fast forwarding here so you don't have to hear my whole life story. And I'm on my 3rd expulsion, my 3rd hospitalization. I think I was friends with everyone in the emergency room. I knew everyone's name. It was kind of like, hey, how you doing? I was constantly in there. My dad had to constantly take me there. And my mom said to me, look, we got to figure out a school situation for you. We just want you to graduate. You can graduate and go crazy if you want. You know, that's fine. They just wanted me to get out of high school. That was the goal. So, being defiant me, I said, no, I don't want to graduate. And they said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to play the drums all day. And my dad said, you are not playing drums all day in my house. And I said, why not? He said, because I'll get arrested. You got to go to school. So I said, screw you, buddy. Get arrested. So my mom said, look, Michael, what do you want? If we could give you anything you wanted. My parents were desperate at this point. You know, they just wanted their kid to be okay. They didn't even care that I flipped out. I think they thought it was funny at that point. And I said, I just want to play the drums. It's the only thing that makes me happy. Whenever I play the drums, it makes me happy. And so moms are very sneaky, by the way, right? Y'all are sneaky. They're always up to stuff. And so my mom says to me, give me a week to figure this one out. Okay. So I'm very impatient, type A, the whole week. Mommy, what's going on? Mike, we'll talk about it in a few days. Tell me! No, we'll talk about it in a few days. So the week comes around, and she said, I think I found an answer for you. Would you be okay with playing drums for half the day? I said, yes. And she found a performing arts high school for me. Now, the story gets even better, because I still had my anger issues. I was still depressed. And I'll never forget going to this performing arts high school. I had a lot of hair. I had my sideburns, my goatee. It was like 50 pounds lighter. And I got angry one day. And I went into a practice room, and went to go play drums. So I was angry, and I went into the room. And a teacher comes in and says, "Mike, that sounds really good. Can we use that in a concert?" Okay. A few weeks later, angry, practice room. And the teacher comes in the room and says, "Can I hire you to play with my band this weekend?" So now, I'm not going to the hospital anymore for flipping out. Not only do people like it, but they want to give me money. So I decided to become a professional drummer, not because it's cool, and really it's actually not that cool. A lot of times I'm stuck in Los Angeles airport at 2 a.m. with a bunch of boxes by myself, wondering why I got myself into this. And that's really the most fun part about it. But I play drums because it makes me feel good.
I really enjoyed his presentation.
I came to this training today just because Mike was going to be here.
He basically essentially changed the tone of the room from let's think seriously about things and worry a little bit to let's feel happy.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to finding that creative outlet to express yourself, work through your issues, get out your anger.
Very often those of us either in the helping profession are so busy doing many things we don't take time to take care of ourselves.
I felt of all of the presenters he was the most lively, really just full of life, engaging, quick to the point. It was something that I think everyone left feeling very positively about.
Let's feel positive and let's treat our mental health challenges as something that is an intrinsic part of ourselves.
Keep the conversation around disability going so that we can achieve our goals of full inclusion.
I'm going to start taking better care of myself as a promise to him.